Hi there, it's Shell, and today we are continuing making some ephemera for our stash. Now yesterday I made, let me show you guys, I made some of these, and I think they're so fun. So they'll make a fun addition to my ephemera. So I'm going to put those aside, and then today I just want to make something really simple. And if you've been with me for a while, you may have seen these, but I always have like offcuts of, you know, just pieces, and I mean these work so well for so many things, and I just want to go ahead and use them up. So I have a pile over here to my right, and I'm just kind of going through these and grabbing all of the same size, because when you're working on a project and you know it's kind of the same size, you're cutting down coffee paper, stuff like that, then you definitely have what you need. And I mean tons of the same size cutoffs. So this works really well for that. I need I have an idea what I need, I just gotta find it. Do you guys get like that? You're like, oh yeah, I have everything I need, and then it kind of falls through. Let me find my packet of stuff, probably right in front of me. But one thing I'm going to use is some pieces I already had in my stash, and these are some music paper. And well, I think it's over there in my bag, but I'm okay. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do these. Let's see what we have here, and I'll just make up what I have. I think I have enough paper for several little things here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I love to make these. They are really a quick little addition to pop in, you know, just a fun, a tiny pocket in your ephemera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in your junk journals. So we're just going to make 7 of these right now. We're going to use some of these stamps and just kind of make some little stamp books. So I have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just counting. Just making sure again. Okay, so I have 7 of those, and now I want like a cover. So I need, you know, like some scrapbook paper. Grab some real quick. That is, you know, I can use for this. And here's some cutoffs. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make these to fit these guys because they're all the same size. So I'm just going to kind of take a little measurement, but you can do this with any cutoffs that you have, and you can kind of just, you know, decide what you want here. And I just am using my cutter over here. I'm just kind of lining it up so they're all about the same width, so that I have a little bit showing from my pieces that I'm using, so that when I do put that music piece on there, that, you know, I have a little bit of the paper I'm using showing behind it. And these are super quick and simple. Let's see, I think this one will work right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna do these. Let me grab my Move some of this stuff out of the way so it's not horrible for you guys. I'm just using my Vintage Photo Distress ink. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I have my die cutter out or my punch, then I just punch tons of things. And I was looking through my stash and I had so much things that I have punched out, and I probably punched these out 2 or 3 years ago. So I figured now's the time to use them, you know. So, and this will use a lot of my stamps. Very simple. I use a sewing machine to sew in my little booklets. And this is such a simple project. So I'm just going around the edge, and I'll go around the edge on all of them. You know, I do like to kind of color each one of my pieces. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just glue these down. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. These are just little rectangles. These are about 1.5 by 1 1/4 or so. So I just want the edges pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down. Can't see me because I'm not in frame, sorry. Like this, and then I'm just going to fold it. You know, I like things that are fast and simple. And cut. And then I'm going to do that with the rest of these. You know, sometimes it's just easier to just do it kind of like an assembly line. And then you can have a huge stash. So when you're ready, and I have gone through so many of these just in the last couple of weeks, because, you know, they're just perfect for stashing in a small area. So it's nice to make more of them as I have time. And this week I am just making ephemera this week. Built up my stash, and then when I'm ready for my next journal, you know, things like this will come in handy. So that quickly, we've got 3. And I think what I did is I was cutting up a bunch of music paper a few years ago. And so what I did is I just used up the rest of it, so I wasn't wasting any. And I cut all kinds of shapes out. And, you know, it's perfect to just take some time and just put your things together. Sorry, I'm moving this, so maybe I'll stay in frame now. And, you know, I'm not trying to be perfect. You know, I know I have pretty much a flat edge there. And so I'm just trying to make it pretty simple. Sometimes all you need for ephemera is something very quick, very simple. And you can just knock out 20 of them or 30 of them in no time at all and put them in your stash. And then when you're putting together your journals, you're not stopping and starting, you know, having done you know, you're having to complete your items. That one's a little bit bigger stamp book, but that's okay. So I love just having pre-made things. And I'm going to trim it down after I get it folded. And I mean, this is just still, we're still doing scraps, scrap paper. I'm going to trim it kind of how I want it to be. Then I'm just going to follow that line. You can use your paper cutter if you want. And that's how simple that is. I'm going to ink around each one of them. And just the front. You can do the back also, but that doesn't bother me. I just want them pretty much to be completed when I'm ready to just kind of pop them into a journal or a little pocket spot or whatever, you know. But I do like to use my ink and just kind of ink around each one of these. And this one. Okay. So now we're going to put together our books. Hopefully I have enough scrap paper. I do have some other, you know, that I could cut down, but I'm just trying to use up what I have. And what I like to do is I just want to kind of fold this one right there. And I figure all these are going to be just about the same size. And I'm just going to cut them all down using this as my template. Real quick here. You know, and then I'll use 2 or 3 pieces of paper per little booklet. And, you know, that just depends on how many you want to put in there. I don't want to put too much because I am going through my sewing machine, but this doesn't really build up. It's not a heavy duty paper. It's just typewriter paper. So that's not a bad thing, you know. And it just doesn't take that long at all to do these. You can just do it in front of the TV. You know, you can make your little sample, just keep the sample or something if you wanted to do that. I do like to make templates and then come back later, you know, and use them for my projects. So like if I knew I was going to cut down papers, I could do that. That one's a little bit shorter, but that's okay. We could probably still use that. If not, I'll put it back for another size. But my goal is to just use up a bunch of paper that I have. You know, just a bunch of my scraps and make a bunch of ephemera to put in, like I said, my junk journal, so that I can just kind of zoom through when I want to decorate and not have to stop and, you know, make a whole bunch of these little stamp books or, you know, stuff like that. I have one more that's the same width. This one is eco-dyed paper, but I don't mind mixing and matching the eco-dyed with the coffee dyed paper. Okay. So that's simple. Let's get 3 of these, I think. Kind of measure. I'm not going to measure each one of them. If they end up being too long or something, I can easily trim those down. So I have my sewing machine out of sight right here. I'll pull it back up in a second. So there's 1, 2, 3. I really like these fast and simple projects. It's just so nice. 1, 2, 3. I kind of want them the same. I mean, I have a couple that are smaller than the others that I may or may not use. And I like these because they're You know, you can make little notes on them. You know, I don't know what kind of notes you'd make, but you know, maybe you just want to put inspirational sayings on each page or something like that. I think that would be really fun. I'm just kind of, like this one has 2 eco-dyed papers with a coffee dyed in the center. You know, I'm just kind of thinking about that as I go. And then, it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. And this one, I think what I'm going to do on this one, it has the smaller paper, but I'm just kind of putting it center, top to bottom, and then fold it like that. So I love that these come together so fast. So again, I still have my pink thread in my sewing machine. So I can pull it up just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And then I am going to put this in the center. I kind of like to see where my crease is. And then I just line it up best I can, you know. Kind of line it up with the needle. And then I'll pop that down. Let's see if I can, sorry, grab my thing. And I do like to do just a little bit of a back stitch. And then I do that with each one. And I go ahead and just leave them on there so that I can zoom through them pretty quickly. Whoa. Push that really quick. And then if I need to, I can trim them down, like if they're not lined up well or something like that. But if you do things, you know, sew them together, you're not wasting yarn or thread, and it takes so much less time. Oh. Two more, very simple. Okay. And then here's my little chain of little booklets, and then I can just trim them down. I think I have like 7 or 8 of them. Oops, cut through that one. And you know, if I don't get it sewn in there perfectly and it's a little off, I just trim it down so it looks nice, you know, from the outside anyways. There we go. That one kind of balled up the thread, but that's okay. Things like that really don't bother me too much because they're just, you know, part of the journey, I guess. This one was a little bit wide. of the process, I think is what I was going for there. And this one's a little off. Sometimes, you know, your fingers will slip, or the papers just don't, you know, line up perfectly. And like I said, that just doesn't really bother me that much. I don't aim for perfection. I mean, I don't want it to look, you know, messy or anything, but some people are aiming for that, so, you know, by all means, do what makes you happy. Okay, so now I got these. I want to kind of decorate them, and I'm just using my stamps. So I am just going to find one that will fit. You know, like I said, I have tons of little stamps in here. Some of them are definitely larger, you know, than the other ones, but this particular die cut worked perfectly for these. So, and I'm just gonna distress ink around them because I do like that look, and put my stamp on top. I got one done, and then just kind of go through some of these other ones and just see. You know, you could use any kind of ephemera that you want, or any, you know, kind of images or graphics. I know a lot of the graphics, like on Etsy and stuff, you know, you can resize them. So you could resize some graphics to put on here. You could use magazine cutouts. This one I am going to have open to the side. So I really like that. You can do, you know, anything that you want. And, you know, I really like using up some of these stamps. Like I've said in previous videos, I think I ordered 400 of these on Etsy, and they were really inexpensive. I mean, like less than $6 or something for 400 stamps. So it's been like last year, so I'm not really sure who it was, but you can definitely, you know, look on Etsy. See what else we have. It's not bad. Just kind of grabbing different colors, and because I know, you know, a lot of mine have, you know, a color here or there, but you know, I do have in mind a couple of journals that I'll be making in the next couple of weeks, and you know, I'm trying to keep that in mind as I'm, you know, making these. But for the most part, you can pop one of these in no matter the theme or that you want to. It's just a nice little craft piece of ephemera just to kind of throw in, tuck in at the, you know, just where you need just a little something. Let's see, did I get that one? Yes. I think I have two more. I'm going to dig down a little bit and see what else I have. I really like anything green. This is a Bermuda stamp. It says a half D, whatever that means. So, I don't know. But I do like the layered look. You know, you could go more. You could put lace on the outside if you wanted to. But again, I just like kind of something simple so that, you know, I can just slide it in and there's not a lot of bulk or anything to it. Here's a Christmas stamp. I like that, but I know Christmas is a ways off, so I'm not going to use that one. See what else I have. I do like having a huge selection. I think it's so fun, and I try to use stamps, as you guys know, even if you're watching this series, is I use stamps on most of my projects because I do have so many of them. And I mean, you know, I picked some up at thrift stores, things like that, so I'm definitely not lacking for stamps. Okay, this was a short and sweet project. See if you guys can see them. I have this one, and then this one, and this one. I love this one. I'm gonna do like a gardening journal before too long, so I thought that might look really pretty on that, in that book perhaps. This one is kind of fun, and this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below and hit that bell so that you're notified of any new videos that I put up. Right now I am going through a embellishment kind of series, so you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. You guys have a wonderful day.